And after a quick turnaround, a pair of NL East rivals are ready to go back at it today. It's time to send you to D.C. for the Mets and Nationals.
The Mets bats were hot yesterday as they took game one of the doubleheader 11-0. But in the nightcap, Ryan Zimmerman provided the deciding blow, a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth. Nationals fans out early today for a meet and greet with the players. As we welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball from our nation's capital. Two National League East rivals get together. It's the Mets and the Nationals. Good afternoon, everybody. Kenny Albert along with Tom Verducci. New York Mets have received outstanding starting pitching as of late. Yesterday, Henry Mejia and Matt Harvey combined for 15 innings. They did not allow an earned run of the Twin Bill.
And Kenny, go back to the middle of June 18th, when the Mets brought up Zach Wheeler. Since then, they have the best record in the National League East, and it's that starting pitching you're talking about. Not just Wheeler, not just Matt Harvey, but now Dylan G has thrown the ball extremely well for the Mets the last couple of months. And boy, does he own the Washington Nationals. 3-0 with an 0.96 ERA against Washington.
A National squad, Tom, with walk-off home runs each of the last two nights. Bryce Harper against the Pirates Thursday. Ryan Zimmerman last night. An 11-0 loss in between yesterday afternoon.
Well, Davey Johnson said you're only as good as your last at bat. Last at bat for the Washington Nationals, pretty good with that home run. The problem has been putting together any kind of a streak. In the last 3 weeks, the Nationals have not won 2 games in a row. They'll try to do that today against a very tough pitcher, Dylan G.
So it's the Mets and the Nationals coming up. They split 2 yesterday. Mets winning 11-0, and then the Nationals 2-1 in the nightcap. It's Fox Saturday Baseball. Mets, Nationals, next. Afternoon, partly cloudy skies above Nationals Park. And Tom, you referenced the doubleheader Mets played in Atlanta June 18th. Matt Harvey and Zach Wheeler were the starting pitchers that day. Mets won both games, and since the 18th of June, they have the best record in the division.
Yeah, they wish the standings were kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch. Just shake it and start all over again with a clean slate starting in the middle of June. But Terry Collins already starting to work on his math. He knows that the Mets play .666 ball, basically win 2 out of 3 the rest of the year. They can get to upper 80s.
They come into this game with a record of 46-54. Mets batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Eric Young Jr. back in the lineup. Did not play yesterday. He will lead off, followed by second baseman Daniel Murphy, who went deep twice in Game 1 yesterday here in Washington. David Wright bats third. Marlon Byrd in the cleanup spot. Then Ike Davis, who homered in the first game yesterday. John Buck, the catcher, hit sixth. Bottom of the order, Juan Lagares, Omar Quintanilla, and the Mets pitcher Dylan G. Mets will face 32-year-old right-hander Dan Herron. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. The Nationals have lost the last 11 games started by the three-time All-Star Dan Herron. He is 0-8 during that stretch.
It's been a long time, and for a guy who really relies on his cutter, well, that cutter has been below grade. That's why I call it a cut below. Hitters are hitting .367 off that cutter. And stay grounded. He needs to keep the ball on the ground, but especially stay out of the upper portions of the strike zone. He leads the National League, 21 home runs allowed.
3 of the 21 came in his only start against the Mets this season here at Nationals Park on June 5th. Defensively for the Nationals, around the infield, LaRoche, Rendon, Desmond, and last night's hero, Zimmerman. In the outfield from left to right, Harper, Span, and Worth. The battery of Herron and Wilson Ramos. Nationals at 50 up, 54 down after winning 98 games, most of the major leagues last season. Lance Barksdale working behind the plate today. Vic Carapazza, the first base umpire. Crew chief Wally Bell at second, and Kerwin Danley is at third as Eric Young Jr. steps in to lead off for the Mets. He suffered a right knee injury on Wednesday night when he accidentally stepped on the ankle of Braves starter Tim Hudson, knocking Hudson out for the year. Young shaken up following the incident. He started the Mets game on Thursday against Atlanta, but did not play in either game yesterday. Testing the knee out, Tom, earlier today here in Washington.
He definitely passed the test earlier today.
Shallow left field, and the catch is made by the shortstop Desmond to retire Eric Young Jr. for out number 1. So now Daniel Murphy, who took Jordan Zimmerman deep twice. In the first game yesterday, he had 6 hits on the day and drove in 5 runs in the opener.
Nobody hotter in this Mets lineup than Daniel Murphy. 11 for his last 17, including 5 extra base hits, so he's doing damage.
6-game hitting streak for Murphy. Swings at the first pitch. Harper moving to his right. Makes the catch in foul territory for out number 2. So 3 pitches thrown by Herron, and he is retired. Young and Murphy will now face David Wright.
I think you'll see David Wright here be especially patient during this at bat. Give your own pitcher who just got back from the bullpen a little extra time after 2 outs on 3 pitches. Make Herron work a little more. And if you're Herron, you want to take advantage of that and attack the strike zone.
Wright has had success against Herron. 2 home runs, including 1 back on June 5th. Wright takes the first pitch for a called strike, 0-1.
Yeah, good job by Herron. You saw Wright taking all the way. He's not going to give Herron a 4-pitch inning, and Herron takes advantage of a free strike.
Now 1-1. Mets captain, 7-time All-Star. Batting .304 this season, 8th in the National League with 116 hits. Foul back to the screen, now 1-2.
A little bit of a different look recently for Denny Herron. See the high sock look there? That's what happens when it's been a couple of months since you've had your last win. He went to this look after he came off a short stay on the DL last couple of weeks. Also changed his grip on his splitter a little bit, made it a little wider.
His last win came on the 9th of May, and Wright sends this one to deep left field. Long foul ball.
Kerwin Danley, the third base umpire, took a long look at this one. It looked like it was so high, it was hard to tell if it wrapped around the pole, got over it. Took a long time to come down.
1-2 to Wright on the ground to the second baseman. Rendon has trouble with it, and Wright is safe. The 11th error committed by the young second baseman Anthony Rendon this season.
Just kind of let that ball get back towards his feet a little bit. Maybe it took a little bit of a difficult hop, or a hop at least he did not anticipate. Obviously that play has to be made. Was not hit hard.
So instead of an 8-pitch 1-2-3 first for Herron, he will now face Marlon Byrd, who is 10 for 18 lifetime against Herron with 2 home runs.
Doesn't matter what uniform they're wearing either. Herron for 4 different teams, Byrd for 4 different teams. Marlon Byrd hits him no matter what.
Now both home runs hit by Byrd off Herron came in the same game earlier this season, June 5th. Here in Washington, 2-run shot of the second. And a solo home run in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, both those pitches, good example of what happens when he leaves that cutter up in the zone.
Byrd leading the Mets in home runs and runs batted in this season. A former Washington National takes the fastball for a called strike, 0-2. And there are those numbers, 10 of 18, 556 average against Herron. Wright on at first following the error committed by the second baseman Rendon. The 0-2 to Byrd, gets the bat on it. And Worth makes the play in right field to retire the Mets. Here at the top of the first and 11 pitch inning. Nationals coming up. By Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live boss. Bryce Harper will lead off, followed by Anthony Rendon. Ryan Zimmerman hits third. Adam LaRoche in the cleanup spot. Then Jason Worth. Shortstop Ian Desmond. Bottom of the order, Denard Span, Wilson Ramos, and Dan Herron. As the Nationals face their nemesis, the 27-year-old right-hander Dylan G. He's 7-7 this season, but 3-0 against Washington.
And whatever he's doing in his warm-up before the game, keep doing it. First time around the batting order, 225 with no home runs. That changeup, key change for him. He'll throw it any time in the count and against right-handers as well as left-handers.
G has allowed 2 earned runs in 18 innings against the Nationals this season. Bryce Harper leads off and takes ball 1. 1 for 5 in the doubleheader yesterday. Harper did not start game 2. Has been bothered by a left knee issue. Of course, he missed 31 games earlier this season following the left knee injury.
2 nice defensive plays yesterday, both indicating he's running just fine out there in the outfield. Really kind of forced into the leadoff spot because of the troubles of Denard Span.
Both catches coming in game 1. Harper used as a pinch hitter by Davey Johnson in game 2.
And when I say force, I really regard Harper as more of a middle of the order hitter. He's one of the most aggressive hitters on a very patient hitting team. I think he profiles more in that 3 position, but you know, with Span really not doing the job in the leadoff spot, Davey Johnson looking for the right mix.
1-2 from G. Right field. Marlon Byrd is under it, and Harper is retired.
The second baseman, number 6, Anthony Rendon.
So with 1 away, here's Anthony Rendon, who has struggled at the plate as of late, batting just .174 his last 24 games after a hot start. First round draft pick 2 summers ago out of Rice University. Oh for 8 against Dylan G. Swings at the first pitch, right back to the box. G with the flip to Ike Davis to retire Rendon for out number 2.
Number 11, Ryan.
Defensively for the Mets, around the infield, Davis, Murphy, Quintanilla, and Wright. Young in left, Lagares in center, Bird in right. The battery of G and Buck. Ryan Zimmerman, the hero last night. His 9th career walk-off home run to win game 2 for the Nationals.
Amazing, you think about it. It's the most in baseball history before the age of 30. He's not even 29 yet with 9 walk-off home runs.
He took LaTroy Hawkins deep, the 40-year-old right-hander. Hawkins, 19 seasons in the major leagues, only the 4th walk-off home run he has allowed.
Hawkins touched 97 last night. This is what you'll see from Ryan Zimmerman. He is extremely patient.
And Hawkins said after the game, you have to tip your cap to Zimmerman.
Great power the opposite field if you leave it up as he did away.
So the Nationals with walk-off home runs each of the last 2 nights. Their first 2 walk-off homers this season. They had gone their first 101 games without a walk-off home run. The 0-2, and Zimmerman fouls it off down the right field line.
The pitch was reminiscent of the one that Hawkins threw last night, maybe a little farther outside, but G gave him a little different look, dropped down a little bit, different arm angle. Trying to get Zimmerman outside of the strike zone here, well ahead of the count.
Zimmerman just 4 for 19 lifetime against Dylan G. The 0-2. Shallow left center. And the Nationals are retired in order on 10 pitches by G in the bottom of the first.
It's time for United
gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. And by Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live boss. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci back in Washington. Top of the second inning. First baseman Ike Davis will lead off for the Mets against Dan Herron. Davis went deep in game one yesterday. His first home run since returning from AAA Las Vegas. Here it is. First home run in the major league since the 2nd of June.
Yeah, of course, he went to Las Vegas to work on that swing, and they say it's supposed to stay in Vegas, whatever happens there. But they're hoping his turnaround offensively translates back to the major leagues. He really needed to get out of New York, Kenny. I mean, every at-bat, especially at home, was a referendum on Ike Davis. Every pitch, every strike, he was hearing it from the fans. Just needed to change the scenery.
And he said earlier this week when he heard boos at Citi Field during Mets home games that in his mind, he is treating it as if he is a visiting player.
You know, it's interesting that you can apply it to this entire Mets team. They play much better on the road than at home. By far a bigger difference than any other team in baseball. And we did talk to Terry Collins, the manager, about that. And he said when we get on the road, it's just baseball. Focus in. It seems like they deal with a lot of distractions, whether media questions or fan responses that they don't necessarily respond well to. On the road, they're very comfortable.
4 more wins on the road than at home. Mets are 9 games under the 500 mark at Citi Field and a game above 500 on the road.
Yeah, that's very unusual. Only Houston has a better road record than home record. Those records are almost similar. 4th best road record in the league for the New York Mets.
2-2, fastball missing inside, and the count is full with John Buck waiting on deck.
Yeah, and that's been the biggest difference right there. Not so much the swing of Ike Davis, but when he doesn't swing, has been much more selective since he came back.
Payoff pitch from Herron. Davis swings and fouls it back. Ike with 11 hits in 45 at bats since returning from Las Vegas. .244 batting average. Popped up. Third baseman Zimmerman in foul territory makes the catch, so Davis is retired. As John Buck heads to the plate with 108, Tom, our Ford keys to today's game.
Well, we talked about it in terms of Herron's command. You really need to make him get the ball up. For the Nationals, I think they're too patient at the plate. And I think they need to see a more aggressive approach. And Anthony Rendon went out on the first pitch, but I do like to see the Nationals get a little more aggressive early in counts, especially against Dylan G, a strike thrower.
One and one on Buck, who's hit 14 home runs this year. 9 of those came during the month of April. His home runs and runs batted in second among major league catchers in both categories. On one hop, Desmond fires across, 2 away.
And speaking of strike throwers, Danny Herron just about as good as there is. In fact, among active pitchers, has the lowest walk rate of anybody. We've seen it here in the first inning between Herron and Dylan G. 21 pitches, only 2 balls out of the strike zone in the first inning combined.
So with 2 away, here's Juan Lagares. And what a story he has been since coming up from Las Vegas in late April. The reigning National League Player of the Week. Had a big day yesterday. Desmond again. The throw nearly pulls LaRoche off the bag. Lagares is retired. A 1-2-3 second for Dan Herron. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Well, the shift is on. There's no question. Adam LaRoche is a dead pull hitter. See, David Wright will play in until LaRoche gets a strike, and then he'll back up to the shortstop position.
LaRoche 0 for 7 of the 2 games yesterday. Takes the fastball for a called strike, 0-1.
Now, Wright will back up to the shortstop position. That's just because with no strikes, there's a possibility that LaRoche would have an easy hit on a bunt. He's not an established bunter, so he doesn't want to bunt with a strike already on him.
To the right side. Easy play for Wright Davis. 1 away.
The right fielder, number 28.
Well, tonight the UFC returns to Fox. Flyweight champ Demetrius Johnson puts his title on the line against top contender John Moraga, highlighting a full night of epic fights. Johnson and Moraga for the World Flyweight Championship. Fox UFC Saturday is live and free tonight, beginning at 8 Eastern. One away, here's Jason Worth, who, despite missing 28 games with a hamstring injury earlier this season, is tied with Ian Desmond for the team lead with 15 home runs, including 5 in his last 7 games.
Not easy, Kenny, at this point in the season to get your average from 265 to 300 in a matter of 3 weeks. But Jason Worth has done that, and that's an indication of just how hot he has been.
One from G. Center field, Lagares. 2 out, and we check in with Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a game break. Matt?
Kenny, AL West, A's and Angels. The Angels are going to need all the offense they can get from Josh Hamilton, who homers here, his 16th of the season. Albert Pujols left the team today to have an MRI performed on his ailing left foot. He's back in Anaheim. Halos on top of Oakland, 1-0 early. Back to you and Tom.
Thanks, Matt. 4-game lead for the Athletics in the American League West.
How about those throwback unis? I love those old Oakland uniforms.
Saw a lot of them in the crowd as well. Here's Ian Desmond with 2 away. Desmond just 2 for his last 19. Has been playing through a hand injury. Blister developed on his left hand, and he's hung in there, playing in his 103rd game this season. He's missed only 2 games all year.
Yeah, we asked Davey Johnson, the manager, about that hand. He said it was not limiting him offensively, but just look at the numbers. 3 hits his last 24 at bats with no extra base hits.
G missing high, now 1-2.
He had a really bad blister on the bottom of the, really near the palm of the hand, that just broke open on a head-first slide. And to treat it, Davey was saying they put a patch, almost like another layer of skin on that area.
Davey referred to it as a numbing patch.
I guess that's better than living with pain, huh? It's tough to hit if your hand's numb, though.
I would think so. Two and 2 on Desmond with 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd inning. Bernard Span waiting on deck should Desmond reach. Count is now full. G has not allowed an earned run his last 2 starts, now 15 1/3. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in his last start on Monday against Atlanta, before it was broken up by Freddie Freeman. Payoff pitch. Desmond, deep left center. It is gone. 2. G's streak comes to an end. As I just mentioned, he had not allowed an earned run in 15 1/3. It's home run number 16 for Desmond. I guess that numbing patch paid off.
Well, he tried to double up on the changeup, and look where it is. Center, middle. That's the difference between throwing the changeup at 2-2, where you can afford to miss, where it doesn't cost you a walk, and 3-2, where now you're trying to throw it for a strike. Too much of the strike zone. Desmond takes advantage.
Desmond's 3rd career home run against G in 24 at-bats. And now Span sends this one to deep right. The Nationals go back-to-back. First home run of the season for Denard Span in 389 at-bats. The Nationals now lead 2-0.
Well, he just ambushed Dylan G, because Denard Span, we talked about this, one of the most patient hitters, and G throws a get-ahead fastball, and that is down and in right in the nitro zone, which is not a big one for Denard Span, and he catches it. Again, Kenny, I think the Nationals have to get back to more of this approach. Just go ambushing fastballs early in the count. This is a team that loves to take pitches, and I think they've carried that a little too far. And we see Ramos swing at the first pitch. Somebody got the memo today.
So back-to-back home runs for Desmond and Span. 7th time the Nationals have gone back-to-back this season. For Denard Span, who grew up here in our nation's capital, it's his first home run as a National as Ramos loses his bat, falls behind 0-2.
And both times wasn't able to read the spin. You see here that you talked about this, the home runs allowed, and we talked about how well he starts games. First time around a batting order, had allowed no home runs this year, and in fact had made 23 consecutive starts without allowing a home run first time through a batting order, and now back-to-back.
G had retired the first 5 Nationals before Desmond and Span go back-to-back. 1-2 to Ramos. Left field. Catch is made by Eric Young Jr. to retire the side, but the Nationals take a 2-0 lead as Desmond goes deep, and then Span. Back after these messages from your local station. Is presented by Taco Bell. As we move to the third inning here at Nationals Park, Washington with a 2-0 lead. Back-to-back home runs for Ian Desmond and Denard Span. Team split 2 yesterday. Mets winning 11-0 in the afternoon. Nationals coming back with a 2-1 victory in the nightcap. Here's Omar Quintanilla leading off for the Mets, and he takes ball 1.
I think I may have caught Dan Herron taking a double take at the scoreboard, Kenny. You talk about that 11-game streak where the team has not won when he has started. Well, this kind of run support, it's not a lot, but even this seems like a lot to Dan Herron. In those 11 games when he's been on the mound, they've scored only 12 runs for him. Some of the worst run support in the National League are the days when Dan Herron starts.
Pitching with a 2-0 lead. Quintanilla, G, and Young for the Mets here in the third. Two and two.
This is where that 8th spot in the lineup is so important. If you can get on base and give G a chance to bunt. Danny Herron knows that he has to throw a strike right here. Take care of the 8th place hitter. You have the nearly free out right behind him in the 9th spot. Be surprised if this was anything but a fastball down the middle.
Time called by Lance Barksdale. Now the payoff pitch to Quintanilla, missing high, ball 4, so Herron issues a leadoff walk.
Yeah, it's just bad execution right there, and he knows it. You see him shaking his head right there. With his command to walk the number 8 hitter, that's a tough one.
Well, Tom, on behalf of Major League Baseball, we salute all of Cooperstown, New York on its Hall of Fame weekend and offer congratulations to this year's award winners and to the 2013 National Baseball Hall of Fame inductees and their families, as G does his job sacrificing Quintanilla over to second, the sacrifice 3-4. The Hall of Fame class of 2013, including longtime umpire Hank O'Day, former Yankees owner Jacob Ruppert, 19th century catcher and third baseman Deacon White, as well as one of your longtime colleagues, Philadelphia area baseball writer Paul Hagen, winner of the Spink Award, and the late Tom Cheek, the Ford C. Frick Award winner. Tom called the first 4,036 games in Toronto Blue Jays history.
Yeah, we were joking about Paul Hagen. A lot of pressure on him. He's the only one going in who's actually alive.
That's right.
I told him, that better be a good speech.
Eric Young Jr. popped out to the shortstop Desmond, his first time up. A year ago this weekend, our colleague at Fox, Tim McCarver, was honored as the Ford C. Frick Award winner in 2012.
Yeah, what a great day. He gave a terrific speech. If you're a baseball fan and haven't been up there for one of these weekends, if you can, by all means, go.
Hard shot to the first baseman, LaRoche. So Young grounds out to the right side, moving Quintanilla over to third.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches Murphy right here. I think this is the hottest bat in the Mets lineup. Not to say it's a strict pitch around situation. You've got David Wright right behind him. Certainly Dan Herron's going to try to get him out on the edges of the plate.
Murphy fouled out to the left fielder Harper back in the first inning. 6 for 9 in the doubleheader yesterday with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in game 1. Eight home runs on the season, including the 2 yesterday. Deep left field, Harper makes the catch just shy of the warning track. So Quintanilla is stranded on third. Welcome back to Fox Saturday Baseball. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci as Dan Herron leads off for the Nationals in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Perfect timing as we welcome in from the Nationals dugout pitching coach Steve McCatty. Steve, thanks for taking a couple of minutes. Did Dan thank the guys in the dugout for some run support? He has not received too much of it lately.
No, he didn't say that, but you can see they're thanking me for being down here right now by firing sunflower seeds on me.
Yeah, what kind of hitter is Danny? We got him at the plate right now.
With that swing, he's not real good. He's probably going to go to right field.
He does have 2 career home runs, Steve.
Yeah, he does. He's Gio's got a ways to go to pass him though.
Here's the 0-2 from Dylan G. Aaron gets the bat on it, and it's over the glove of Lagares. So Aaron in at second with a stand-up double, his 6th hit of the season, his 3rd extra base hit. How about that, Steve?
That's good. Yeah. If it gets us a run, that's great. I don't want our pitchers running the bases too much, but he has the potential to do that. He's a good athlete.
Well, we talked about his lack of run support. It's been a long time since Danny Herron had a W next to his name on the box score line. Steve, how do you think he's withstood this in terms of avoiding any kind of frustration each time he goes out to the mound without anything to show for it?
Well, he's a warrior. He's pitched for a long time, and he's a quality pitcher. He's been in all-star games. He's been the whole gamut, and he's a veteran. He knows how to handle it. It hasn't been easy for him, but he continues to go out there. He doesn't complain about anything. He goes about his job, and he gives you the best effort he can that day. And as a pitcher, everybody talks about the runs and all that. We stress not worrying about that. What we get is what we get. We just try to keep them from not scoring.
And the Mets have not scored over the first 3 innings in today's game. They scored only 1 run in the nightcap last night, Steve. Russ Ohlendorf, your starter in game 2 yesterday, was terrific.
He threw the ball great. I'm real happy he's here. For the first few years that I was here, a lot of the times he was a sinker, and we had sinker ball pitchers. So I knew him quite well because I used just about everything he was doing with Pittsburgh.
Well, Bryce Harper drives this one to deep center field. It's out of here.
Now I'm going to have to stand down here at the end of every inning.
So for Bryce Harper, his 15th home run of the season, the third home run allowed by Dylan G today over the first 3 innings. And Steve, you got your wish. Herron is not out of the bases for very long.
Yeah, he didn't have to run. I always take that one. Trotting's a lot easier. I don't know much about running bases. I never had to do it, but you know, it's hot out here, so trotting is always good.
Just the two-seamer that G tried to run away, left it up, and got an indication there of Bryce Harper's power, sending it out to the middle of the field.
Well, with Bryce, he's got tremendous bat speed. I mean, he's a big, strong kid. Any sort of mistake that you make in here, when it starts to get warm, you get the ball up in the air, it tends to carry here. But you know, with the bat speed he has and how strong he is, if he makes solid contact, it's going to go.
We talk about leaving the ball up. That has plagued Danny Herron a little bit this season with the 21 home runs allowed. Looks like today, Steve, he looks strong and has gone to the fastball a little more than the cutter.
Well, yeah.
Ground ball to the third baseman, right. Fires across to retire Rendon.
And that's the one thing we stress with Dan. You know, when you have a guy that's not throwing as hard as he has in the past, you got to convince him to just keep the ball down. You know, he's had such great command, the strikeouts and walks and all that stuff, that, you know, I've been telling him, you know, your mistakes come when the ball is elevated. Don't feel when you get in situations just because it's the 3-2 count that you're just going to go out there and throw the ball down the middle of the plate and put the ball in play. If you take a few walks, that's what you got to do. But when he keeps the ball down, you know, it gives him a much better chance to have success out there. But most of the time, the mistakes that he's made, you know, with the 21 home runs, that's what happens. That's the real advantage to somebody that has a great fastball. You can get away with mistakes.
0-1 on Ryan Zimmerman, who fly to left his first time up. And he fouls the next pitch back. Now 0-2. By the way, Steve, excellent job pausing when Rendon hit that ground ball. And I know you have some broadcast experience, right, with the A's back in the late 80s, early 90s?
Well, I did a little bit with the A's and a little bit with ESPN. Did some of their major league broadcasts for 1 year before they fired me. And I said, I got to find another job. And so I really decided I wanted to be back down in the field. And I've been very fortunate.
Here's the 0-2 to Zimmerman. And he pops it up in foul territory. Buck makes the play just in front of the Nationals dugout for out number 2. Now a roster move made by the Nationals last night, Steve. Drew Storen sent down to AAA Syracuse, and Davey Johnson said after the game that Drew needs to, quote, get right mentally and mechanically. So what's the plan with Drew?
Well, he'll go down there. He's going to go back to his normal windup. Before he had the real good season, he went to the kind of the stiff leg when he got the 43 saves. But, you know, one thing with that, it makes you very slow to the plate, and he has a tendency to pull off the ball. And a lot of his pitches have been, you know, up this year. And when you're struggling giving up hits, it gets to be a mental thing. And I think both of them kind of combine together. So we're going to go back and let him work on his old mechanics and just get that confidence back, because he's a quality pitcher. I mean, he's got great stuff, but, you know, when it rains, it's, you know, it pours on you. And out there, and you could say, people say, well, let him do it in the big leagues. But, you know, we gotta play here. We owe it to him to get him right, but we owe it to the other players to try to put the best available guys out there. And with Drew struggling, you know, it's an awful tough thing to start putting him in situations where he really wouldn't want to pitch. 6th inning, you have him wait a few days more than he's used to. So it's better to go back, let him work on it, get some success, get the feeling and the confidence back to throwing the ball where he wants, and then as soon as he's ready, he'll be back in the big leagues. With Drew, I don't think it's going to take him very long to do that.
Now 2-2 on LaRoche. Steve, we really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes, although I know all of the fellows around you in the dugout probably want you to keep the headset on as the Nationals have scored 2 runs in the inning.
Well, they enjoy that, but they also enjoy throwing stuff at me a little more than anything else.
All right, thanks, Steve. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Steve McCatty, Nationals pitching coach, joining us here in the bottom of the third inning.
Got his team 2 runs very quickly. You know, I couldn't help but think about Ike Davis when he was talking about Drew Storen. You know, change the scenery, work on what you need to work on in a minor league environment. Drew Storen went out last night and pitched with that old windup. Better
nice
to do
play.
that in Binder. Sorry.
Yep, nice play by G. So the inning finally comes to an end. Dylan G allows his 3rd home run of the game. Bryce Harper, his 15th of the season. Steve McCatty having some fun in the Nats dugout. Ben's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball. And by T-Mobile. Now your choice is simple. T-Mobile. Unleash. Well, the Nationals have unleashed on Dylan G with 3 home runs the first 3 innings, matching the most G has allowed in a game in his career. So the Mets looking to battle back from 4 runs down as David Wright leads off against Dan Herron. Wright reached on an error back in the first inning. Mets have had only 2 base runners. Still looking for their first base hit today. And there it is. As Wright singles into left field. So the leadoff man is on for the Mets for the 2nd straight inning, as Marlon Byrd steps to the plate. We mentioned, Tom, the roster move made by the Nationals after the game, sending Drew Storen down to AAA last night. Mets made a move as well. They brought up Henry Mejia as their 26th player, which teams are allowed to do for a doubleheader. He started the first game yesterday as Byrd fouls it off to the right side. Mets have kept Mejia on the roster. They will go to a 6-man rotation, and they sent outfielder Kirk Neuenhuis to AAA Las Vegas.
And Mejia looked excellent yesterday. No walks. Really throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that most people call a cutter because it moves so much. So in the interest of Matt Harvey and Zach Wheeler, but the Mets would like to limit their innings this year rather than take the Strasburg approach and shut the pitchers down late in the year. The Mets want those guys to pitch 6 months, so they will go to a 6-man rotation to save a start or 2 and preserve those innings to pitch them in September.
That's right, and that should allow Harvey and Wheeler to pitch deep into September. Mets also hope to get Jonathan Neese back in the very near future. And what a job by Mejia in his first major league start of 2013. Did not allow a run in 7 innings in the first game yesterday.
And there was a guy before he got hurt. People talked about him almost as if he were Matt Harvey. In fact, at one point was ranked higher than Matt Harvey in terms of the Mets prospects.
Marlon Byrd down on strikes for the first out of the inning as we check in with Matt Vescursion at the MLB Network studios for a game break. Matt?
Kenny, a final in New York. Chris Archer has become the 3rd rookie in the last 30 years to beat the Yankees twice at home in the same season. He shut out the Yanks 1-0. The Yankees shut out for the 9th time already this year, the most since 1997, and we're not even into August yet. Lean times in the Bronx. Kenny, back to you and Tom.
Only 2 hits for the Yankees today. Thanks, Matt, as they fall 8 back in the American League East. Rays now with a 1-game lead on the second place Red Sox. Red Sox and Orioles battling this weekend just up the road in Baltimore.
The Yankees picked up Alfonso Soriano when some people were saying maybe they should be selling rather than buying.
0-2 on Davis, who fouled out to the third baseman Zimmerman his first time up. Matt Harvey started game 2 for the Mets last night. Not involved in the decision. 8 strong innings, did not allow an earned run. He struck out 7. And we will chat with the National League All-Star starter during the bottom of the 4th inning, live from the Mets dugout. There's Matt.
Well, he was cruising last night, wasn't he? Kept his pitch count down, seemed to be able to put the ball anywhere that he wanted on the edges of the plate. That's another good example of Ike Davis being a little more patient. Don't see as much anxiety in his turns at the plate as you saw before he went down.
Hard grounder, snared by LaRoche, throw to second, back to first for the double play. So when we return, we will chat live with Mets phenom Matt Harvey. Jason Worth leads off for the Nationals, who lead the Mets 4-0. Bottom of the 4th inning. On Fox Saturday Baseball, Worth fly to center. His first time up. On the first pitch, he grounds out to Daniel Murphy as we welcome in from the Mets dugout the National League starter in the All-Star game last week, Matt Harvey, Matt, Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci. Thanks for joining us. Now, you made your Major League debut a year ago yesterday, July 26, 2012 in Arizona, so 31 starts later. How has your life changed since that day?
Pretty drastically. I mean, it's obviously changed in a good way, and you know, I'm very thankful for the All-Star game, and you know, obviously that was something I you know, dreamed of as a kid, and having that opportunity was you know, something that you know, I'll never forget, and I'm obviously very thankful for.
Well, let me ask you about that opportunity, Matt, because you pitch it not just starting an All-Star game, but you do it in your home ballpark and rocking those orange spikes too. What were the emotions like out there?
I felt pretty good. I mean, you know, obviously I love pitching in New York and being at home. So, you know, I think when I was warming up and I got the nice, you know, the Harvey chant starting in right field as I was warming up, that definitely sparked the emotions and the adrenaline, and you know, it was just a lot of fun.
Quickly 2 away as Denard Span steps in. Matt, tell us about the experience on the Jimmy Fallon show when you took the microphone around New York City and asked some folks, both young and old, their thoughts on the Mets and on yourself.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun. You know, obviously that was the first time I've done something like that, and you know, they came up with the idea and the opportunity, and you know, we thought it would be a fun thing, and you know, I went there. Obviously, I showed up and, you know, was a little nervous about the whole thing, but, you know, settled in there pretty nice. I think it took a couple Starbucks coffees, and I was good to go to talk to everybody. So, you know, it was a fun experience, and had a lot of fun with it.
So who's your favorite New York Met?
This guy right here was about to run in front of me, number 5.
All right, thanks, Matt. Continued success. Nationals Park. Just over 2 weeks ago, that is where the stage was located.
Now that's deep center field. I think when he had younger legs, McCartney liked to play a little shallower than. Wait a second. You said he was playing music, wasn't playing center field? Oh, I thought you said he was playing center field out there. I thought that was extremely deep.
He may have brought a glove with him.
Actually, he's a big Yankees fan, Paul McCartney.
Of course, played at Shea Stadium back in 1964, the year Shea opened. Two and two on Buck. In fact, you know the first batter was at Shea Stadium back in April of '64. There's a tie into this game. It was Jason Worth's grandfather, Dickie Schofield, the first ever at bat at Shea Stadium. Buck gets a piece of it. There's Jason. Wonder if he's aware of that note on his grandfather.
I think that story was probably brought up around the Thanksgiving table one of these years.
The Mets pitcher was Jack Fisher, and Dickie Schofield popped out to the second baseman. Two and two on the Mets catcher John Buck, whose wife Brooke is due any day. Although she did attend a Broadway show last night, Motown, according to Mets longtime public relations director Jay Horwitz, who knows the whereabouts of every Mets family member, apparently.
Well, yeah, Terry Collins was saying it could be any minute, not just any day. They're prepared. If Buck has to go, we could leave in the middle of the game.
Anthony Recker is the Mets backup catcher, and their emergency catcher is Andrew Brown. Buck down on strikes for out number one. Well, the Fox Sports 1 fan cam caught fans here at Nationals Park who are excited about Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming August 17th, less than a month away. And about 5,000 fans, Tom, were out early as season ticket holders entered the ballpark around 10 this morning, and they were greeted by the Nationals players and manager Davey Johnson and the coaching staff, who signed autographs and posed for photos down on the field.
I thought that was a great idea. Fans were ringing the warning track all around the stadium and got to see the players up close and personal, take some pictures, and before that they had a Q&A session with the general manager, Mike Rizzo. Apparently he was asked to grade himself. So you always get the tougher questions from the fans. Forget the media. The fans come up with direct questions, and Mike Rizzo gave himself a C, which is probably appropriate given where the Nationals are and measured against their expectations coming into the season.
Yeah, given where they were last season. Lagares strikes out for out number two, second consecutive strikeout for Dan Herron. So with the shortstop Omar Quintanilla stepping to the plate, with Mike Rizzo looking on, the Nationals general manager. The Nationals, Tom, last year 98 wins, most in all of baseball. They would have to go 48-10, basically win 5 out of every 6 games to match their record from a season ago.
Well, I'm not sure that's possible. I think they can get back into this race, though. They certainly have the talent. We talked about this at the top, about how patient this team has become. Last year, in terms of their swing percentage, the Nationals were the most aggressive hitting team in the league. This year, the worst.
Desmond across to LaRoche. Mets retired in order in the 5th. 3 home runs for the Nationals. They lead 4-0. Taco Bell is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Nationals lead the Mets 4-0. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Washington, as Wilson Ramos steps in to lead off against Dylan G, who has retired 6 in a row after allowing 3 home runs in the span of 5 batters, after G had not allowed a home run in his last 5 starts. Hard grounder. What a play by David Wright to throw out Ramos for out number 1.
It's like almost a hockey goalie right here. Watch how quick the hands are. Soft hands and quick hands right there. Third base, reactionary position. Those are quick reactions right there.
Tremendous play by Wright. And now Herron steps in. He doubled his first time up back in the 3rd inning. 1 of 4 hits for the Nationals. All 4 have been extra base hits.
Yeah, and today I really do think they've been more aggressive. We talk a lot already about whether they've been too passive or not. People generally equate that to first pitch swinging. To me, it's much more than that. You saw that hack that Ramos took with the count in his favor, 1-0. Those are the counts you're talking about where you can do some damage, where I think they need to let it fly a little more often.
Nationals offensive numbers way down this year in many categories, and they made a change earlier this week, replacing hitting coach Rick Eckstein with former major leaguer Rick Shue. Herron strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. That's the first strikeout today for Dylan G. So a 2-away, and the base is empty. Here's Bryce Harper, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up. Back in the 3rd inning. Coming into this game, Tom, the Nationals are 11-1 when Harper goes deep.
You don't have to worry about this guy being aggressive at the plate. Just to finish off that point, Kenny, you're talking about all counts when there are no strikes. First pitch, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Only the Pirates have fewer hits in those counts than do the Nationals, and no team has fewer RBIs. You got a situation here, 2-0 now. You can bet that Bryce Harper, if he sees anything that he likes, he will let it fly.
And when you mentioned some of those negative stats to Davey Johnson, he said, I didn't know they even keep stats for all this stuff.
Well, you also see how broken up he was when they did make the change. See Harper get unhinged right there. He did get a fastball, had a pretty good hack at it. But Davey Johnson really was emotional for the after the firing of Eckstein, the hitting coach. He grew really to love, and certainly couldn't question his work habits, dedication to the job. But the results certainly were in question.
Davey did not agree with the move. 2-1 to Harper. And a base hit into right field past the diving Murphy. Second hit for Harper today. It's the first single of the game for the Nationals.
Watch this ball just sneak by Murphy. Not quite the same kind of quick hands of David Wright. I'm not sure he could have reached that.
So a 2-out base runner for the Nationals here in the 5th for Anthony Rendon, who has grounded out twice.
Kenny, you know, I remember talking to Davey Johnson when Bryce Harper was on the disabled list, and he talked about what a blow it was for his offense. Obviously, you missed the bat, but you missed the aggressive approach for a team that has very few aggressive hitters. You know, Harper can be a little bit contagious when they see him go up there and take those big hacks. Obviously, G's going to keep an eye on him here at first base in a possible running situation with 2 outs.
And when we spoke to Davey today, as well as in the past, he refers to the style that he likes his hitters to take at the plate. And there's Rick Shue, the new hitting coach. Davey refers to it as patiently aggressive, which initially sounds like an oxymoron, but when you hear Davey talk about it, you kind of understand what he wants from these guys.
It does make sense, and I think he started turning the culture around here last year. He saw so many guys just trying to flick fastballs the other way, keeping their hands on the inside the baseball, letting the pitch get deep. Guys, we got to start turning around these pitches. Don't be afraid to let it go on fastballs inner half.
2-0 to Rendon. Long run for Lagares. Will he get there? Yes, he makes the catch. Lagares runs it down for the final out of the inning.
McCartney couldn't have done it any better.
That's right. With or without a glove. By AT&T, helping you do what you do even better. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Leidenkugel's Summer Shandy. Join us out here. Top of the 6th inning. Here in Washington, Dylan G takes a called strike from Dan Herron. 0-1. G with a sacrifice his first time up. Our Fox Sports 1 pitcher comparison presented by Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming August 17th. Dan Herron looking for his first win since May 9th. He has lost 8 consecutive decisions. And the Nationals have lost Herron's last 11 starts. But he's received some run support today, which has not been the case over the last 2 months. Nationals hitting 3 home runs in a span of 5 batters, accounting for all 4 of their runs today.
And we came in talking about Herron, the need to keep the ball down, keep it in the ballpark, having allowed a league high 21 home runs, and it's been Dylan G who's been hurt by the long ball.
G, who had not allowed a home run over his last 5 starts. G down on strikes, 4th strikeout for Dan Herron as we take you back to the final out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, look where Lagares is positioned. I believe most center fielders are very good coming in on the ball. Going back, that's a different story. The really good ones can play shallow because they can go back like this. The angle he took on that ball, and you noticed he kept his eyes on the ball the entire time, knew exactly where he was, didn't need to see the wall, could really feel it creeping up on him. That's just a terrific play. The Mets knew this guy was a very good defender. He turned himself into a good offensive player as well. The Mets have something special right there, Kenny, and we talked to Terry Collins, and he thought the turnaround the last 5 weeks or so has a lot to do with the way they've defended in the outfield. Marlon Byrd, Eric Young, and Juan Lagares.
Lagares came up in late April. Young acquired by the Mets from Colorado on June 18th. And the Mets are 18-13 with Young in the starting lineup. Yeah, Terry told us we've played better because we catch the ball in the outfield.
And if you go back to Paul Blair, Andrew Jones, some of the greatest center fielders have all been able to get away with playing in shallow. A lot of guys are not comfortable going back on the ball. Just about everybody comfortable coming in on the ball. Lagares is clearly very confident about going back on balls, plays very shallow.
Young went around, says Kerwin Danley. So the count now 1-2.
Good cutter right there, Dan Herron. He's showing there's nothing wrong with his arm strength. He's got good velocity and movement today. Did have a shoulder issue a few weeks ago, but seems to have bounced back with the rest and a cortisone shot in that shoulder.
Now 2-2 on Young with Daniel Murphy waiting on deck. Nationals lead 4-0, top of the 6th inning.
Watch Dan Herron's reaction. He's going to play umpire here, not just pitcher. He thinks that's a strike. Didn't get it.
Long throw for Desmond, and Young beats it out. Nice attempt by Ian Desmond. Infield hit for Eric Young Jr.
Made that play look easy. I'm sure there was a lot of spin on that ball because Herron blew up Eric Young's bat right there. You can hear that crack there. Had no chance of getting the speedy Eric Young.
So the Mets, with only their second base hit of the game, have a one-out base runner here in the 6th as Daniel Murphy steps in.
Yeah, normally you'd say down 4, not necessarily a running situation. But against the Washington Nationals, the running game is part of your game if you want to beat them. 88% success rate against this team, and against Darren Herron, they're 6 for 6.
David Wright on deck. Mets trail 4-0. Top of the 6th inning in Washington after the team split 2 yesterday. Young with 20 stolen bases this season, 12 as a Met, as Murphy sends this one into right field. Worth moving to his right makes the catch for out number 2. Well, tomorrow Landon Donovan and Team USA look to cap off the most successful run in team history as they take on Panama for the top prize in North American soccer. Our coverage of the CONCACAF Gold Cup final begins tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, right here on Fox. 2 away, here's David Wright, who has reached base twice today on an error in the first and a base hit to left in the 4th. Young goes, no throw from Ramos. So Eric Young Jr., Tom, excuse me, with his 21st steal of the season.
Yeah, he extended his lead over here, and look, that's a moving lead. Dan Herron never got Young to stop his feet. That's an easy bag. We talk about catcher's throwing percentage, and both Ramos and Kurt Suzuki have had their issues throwing the ball, but catcher's got no shot. Now that's just way too high of a success rate. upper 80%. It's been a point of contention the entire season. I know the Nationals stressed it in spring training to hold runners a little better. It has not worked out this year.
One to right. Now 2 balls, 1 strike.
And you know, Kenny, as a pitcher, you have to do the calculus of what running situations present themselves. With Murphy at bat, less than 2 outs, okay, they may want to keep Young there to keep the first base hole open. But with 2 outs, you're playing for a hit, right-handed hitter up. And give Young credit going first pitch as well, not waiting to get deep into the count. That was more of a running situation than when Murphy was at bat. As a pitcher, you have to do that calculus to understand it.
Right with a drive, deep left field. Will it stay fair? No. Remember, he came close back in the first inning.
He's getting closer. This one just hooked foul. As a hitter, you try to do the best that you can not to have any hook action on the baseball.
1 home run away from tying Mike Piazza for second on the Mets all-time list.
Nobody was better than Edgar Martinez about keeping that ball straight down the line. He was a short-armed hitter, was able to pull his hands in, so he wasn't coming around the ball.
.80 pitches so far for Herron, looking to get out of the 6th. He is not allowed to run. Another long foul. Eighth pitch of the at-bat to David Wright. And it gets past his buddy Ryan Zimmerman into left field. Young scores, and the Mets are on the board. It's now 4-1 Washington.
You can chalk that up to the stolen base that set up the inning. Came back with the fastball at 3-2. Two-seamer riding in on him. This ball looks like it takes a difficult hop. It does on Ryan Zimmerman. One of those in-between hops. When that ball bounces the second time, you never know what's going to happen. Watch this ball jump up on him.
Wright and Zimmerman grew up together in the Norfolk, Virginia area. So Wright with his second hit today. Driving in Young from second base.
Well, you talked about growing up with Ryan Zimmerman. How about in the fall of 2000? Zimmerman and Wright played on the same travel team. And oh, by the way, also on that team, Mark Reynolds, B.J. Upton, and Justin Upton. Wow. A team based in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And it was called the Mets.
Michael Kadire also grew up in the area, which is why he was selected by Captain David Wright to participate in the Home Run Derby night prior to the All-Star game.
And all those future major leaguers, those 5 future major leaguers, they were all shortstops at the time. So what they did is the coach just sort of rotated the players among third base, shortstop, second base, and DH.
Well, they were shortstops then, third baseman now.
Look at those numbers, very similar, and of course the comparisons go even deeper when you talk about the faces of these franchises. They definitely fit the bill, both signing long-term contracts worth more than $100 million.
Who pays for dinner?
That's a very good question. I'm saying home team.
Two and two on Marlon Byrd. Byrd 0 for 2 today. Center field. Span backtracking, makes the catch. And the Mets are retired, but they score a run as Wright drives in Young from second. Middle of the sixth, 4-1 Nationals. Circuit show on the road this week and had some fun with Braves players, Andrelton Simmons, Chris Johnson, Paul Yanish, and Luis Ayala, who showed off some creative skills and tricks with bats and balls. Go to MLBFanCave.com for all of the latest videos, photos, and more. We come to you from our cave high atop Nationals Park, as Ryan Zimmerman will lead off for the home team here in the bottom of the sixth inning, with the Nationals leading the Mets 4-1. Zimmerman 0 for 2 today. His 9th career walk-off home run. Won the nightcap last night 2-1. Fastball from Dylan G in for strike one. So after G allowed the 3 home runs in a span of 5 batters, since then he's retired 9 of the next 10.
He's actually got good stuff. He's just made mistakes leaving the ball up 2-3 times.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Quintanilla. Zimmerman now 0 for 3.
But he's a very uncomfortable at bat, is Dylan G, because he mixes his pitches so well. 4-seamer, 2-seamer, changeup, slider, curveball. He can throw any at any time. Really stays out of any patterns. As we mentioned at the top, he'll throw that changeup to right-handers as well as left-handers.
There's a left-hander stepping in, Adam LaRoche, who has grounded out twice. LaRoche in the series now 0 for 9.
Had to look at that rubber band there on his left wrist. Not sure what that's for. Sort of theories where people will use that as a physical reminder. They may snap it to remind them of some key, a tangible reminder, if you will.
Right field. Marlon Byrd makes the play for out number 2.
The right fielder.
Our game summary brought to you by Domino's. Oh, yes, we did. Oh, yes, the Nationals did. Go back to back. Desmond and Span. Nationals lead the league with 7 sets of Back-to-back home runs this season, and then Bryce Harper, a 2-run shot in the third. Dan Herron looking to end an 11-game losing streak by the Nationals in his starts.
Rare run support for Danny Herron with the 4 runs. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for Danny Herron. He's had only 12 runs of support in his previous 11 starts when he was in the game. You know, in talking about Dylan G, it was only a year ago. He wasn't sure if he was going to pitch again. Had a blood clot in his right shoulder that would cause his hand and really his whole arm to go numb.
But has come back and has pitched very well this season after a slow start. He's gone 5-1 his last 6 decisions. Fourth with a line drive, base hit into the gap in left center. A 2-out base runner for the Nationals here in the 6th.
Well, you saw the first time against Ian Desmond on a 2-2 count. G's going to throw that changeup here, and it's okay if he misses. So he makes a really good pitch, and Desmond takes it. Now with a full count, he really has to be willing to throw the same changeup, but instead he throws it for a strike in the zone. In other words, 2 outs, nobody on base. A walk is not a bad thing there. Take advantage of the aggressiveness of Desmond at full count. Don't feel like you need to throw that changeup for a strike. Let it go out of the zone. You have to be willing to take the walk in that situation to execute a changeup.
And that at bat, G's only 3-ball count today. He has not walked a batter. Nothing in 1 on Desmond. Worth the runner on first. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, with the Nationals leading 4-1.
Watch this breaking ball here. Slider just run well off the plate. Started out on the plate. Looks like a fastball until it starts to disappear the last 10, 12 feet.
No 2 from G. Desmond gets the bat on it. Marlon Byrd and right. And that will do it for the Nationals in the 6th. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. Mustache and beard, play like a champ profile.
Been a long time since Danny Herron was out there in the 7th inning, back at the end of May. Done a nice job today keeping the ball on the ground and keeping his pitch count down.
He's allowed 1 run on only 3 base hits over the first 6 innings, facing Ike Davis, who is 0 for 2, grounded into a double play his last time up. Scott Atchison up in the Mets pen. One and 2 on Davis, leading off here in the top of the 7th inning. 4-1 lead for Dan Herron and the Nats.
He's done a nice job, Danny Herron has, changing the speeds on this splitter. Watch the follow through here. Really not in a great position to field his position, but you've seen Herron throw that split anywhere from 80 to 84.
Called strike 3. 5th strikeout for Herron today.
It's just well executed. Backdoor fastball right here. Davis kind of gives up on it. But Danny Herron has made very few mistakes in the middle of the plate.
Now facing John Buck, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it off to the right side. Buck is 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up.
It's kind of like a golfer. You know, golfers talk a lot about having a good miss. The difference between a good miss and a bad miss. Maybe you put it on the right side of the green if you miss the flag. But in Danny Herron's case, he's had all good misses. Missing outside of the zone rather than in the zone.
The 1-1. Buck shoots it into right. Worth waiting. 2 out.
Center fielder Juan Lagares.
Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, is celebrating a new season for new memories. For your chance to win a community field makeover and an all-new 2014 Impala, visit ChevyBaseball.com. With 2 away, here's Juan Lagares. And he takes a called strike. Lagares 0 for 2 today. Big day yesterday for Lagares in Game 1. How about this time? The Mets telling us that Lagares became the first player in franchise history with 2 doubles, 2 steals, 3 runs scored, and at least 1 RBI in the same game. I'll give that to you again.
Please.
2 doubles, 2 stolen bases, 3 runs scored, and a run batted in.
On a Friday?
Any day of the week. Any day ending in Y.
Hey, it sounds impressive as long as you can get it all out in one breath. It's amazing the things they can look up, and very quickly. Those used to, believe me, those used to take researchers days to find the answers to. I remember back in the 80s or 90s, we'd call up the Elias Sports Bureau, Stats Inc. Hey, can you find this out? When was the last time this happened? Literally, you'd get a call back in days. Now it's just a matter of seconds.
Marty Aronoff and Dave Corris crunching the numbers for us today. Takes them milliseconds. Another foul off the bat of Lagares on the 101st pitch thrown by Herron this afternoon.
Well, his high this year is 115. He's only got over 100 This is the 5th time this season.
Another foul off to the right side. Two outs, top of the 7th inning. Nationals lead 4-1. 8th pitch of the at-bat from Herron to Lagares. And he strikes him out. So Herron wins the battle. Lagares spikes his bat. 7th inning stretch time in our nation's capital. Taco Bell is sponsored by Just for Men Mustache and Beard, champions of facial hair. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live boss. There's Tyler Clippard up and throwing in the Nationals pen. Josh Edgin in the Mets bullpen. Dan Herron due up third this inning. He's thrown 103 pitches over the first 7. Bernard Span leading off for the Nationals, and he grounds out to Ike Davis for out number 1.
First pitch swinging again. His home run back in the 2nd inning, also on the first pitch.
Tom, we take you back to the first inning of last night's game with Matt Harvey on the mound. A collision between the left fielder for the Mets, Andrew Brown, and the shortstop, Justin Turner. Neither player in the starting lineup today, although Terry Collins reassured us they are both okay as Ramos takes a fastball for a called strike. Brown, Collins said is fine, took a blow to the jaw from Turner, and Turner's right shoulder a bit sore, but both players available for the Mets today.
Well, it certainly looked bad. One of those plays where you at least hold your breath until you got Turner and Brown both up off the ground. Thankfully, both okay. Turner actually stiffened up during the course of that game last night, so they took him out in the later innings of the game.
0-2 to Ramos, a called strike 3. So Ramos, who was the highest career average ever against the New York Mets. Stan Musial is second. Ramos first, but he is 0 for 3 today. So now with 2 away, a pinch hitter, Roger Bernardino, will bat for Dan Herron.
Wait a second. You just threw that out there. Stan Musial, Wilson Ramos in the same breath.
Coming into play today, Ramos .475 average lifetime against the Mets. Musial next at .405.
You know, I would have thought Willie Stargell or Chipper Jones would have been on that list.
Both pretty high up on the all-time home run list against the Mets. One of the reasons why Chipper named one of his sons Shea after Shea Stadium.
And why Mets fans had some other type of names for Larry Chipper Jones.
That's right, including Larry.
That was the best of it.
Bernardino 5 for 21 as a pinch hitter this season. Right field, long run for Marlon Byrd. Makes the play. So the Nationals are retired in order on 7 pitches by Dylan G in the 7th. Attempted by Taco Bell. Eighth inning here in Washington. 28-year-old right-hander Tyler Clippard on in relief of Dan Herron. 7 outstanding innings. Herron threw 103 pitches without a run on only 3 hits. 31 of the 103 pitches thrown by Herron were fouled off by the Mets.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good sign, Kenny, because I thought everything he threw today, Dan Herron, had very good movement on it. Nothing wrong with his stuff. His strikeout rate has been excellent even during this streak of winless starts of 11, but I thought his stuff today especially good in terms of movement.
Quintanilla will lead off against Clippard, who was very outspoken and emotional following the game last night when he learned that his good friend and former roommate Drew Storen was sent down by the Nationals to AAA.
Yeah, it was very outspoken. Had some comments after the game. He didn't think it was fair, especially even going back to the offseason when Soriano was signed, Rafael Soriano. Coming off that blown save for Storen in Game 5 of the American League National League Division Series. I'm sure he's speaking out of emotions about a guy he's very close to.
There's Soriano in the Nationals pen. Storen 43 saves in 2011. And Clippard said after the game last night, you basically send a guy a message this offseason for having one bad game that he's not the guy for the job. He's only human. I think the situation has been handled very poorly. A look at Josh Satin on deck. He will pinch hit for Dylan G.
Well, again, I think that's just spoken out of emotion. I get that. From a baseball point of view, though, I can't disagree with the Nationals fortifying that bullpen. Nothing wrong with having 3 guys out there, and Clippard, Storen, and Soriano, all with experience closing games. In fact, a lot of people at the time thought maybe that was the final piece of the puzzle for the Washington Nationals, to put Soriano at the back end of the bullpen.
25 saves this season for Soriano. Did a terrific job filling in for Mariano Rivera with the New York Yankees last year.
And I really like Clippard's stuff. I mean, he's so unusual for a relief pitcher. Number one, he throws out of the windup. And in fact, I think it allows a lot of deception in his stuff, where he'll throw that glove at you and the elbow at you, that all of a sudden the ball comes out of it. Most relief pitchers will come in out of the stretch all the time. And he also throws a variety of pitches. Primarily fastball, changeup. I'll tell you one more thing that makes this guy so different. He can pitch a lot without any decrease in the quality of his stuff. Very unusual to see a guy go out there 70 times year after year after year without having a breakdown or diminished stuff. Not Clippard.
Payoff pitch, and Quintanilla is down on strikes.
92 up in the zone here above the hands, and Quintanilla can't catch up with it.
Number 13, Josh Satin.
So with 1 away, Josh Satin will pinch hit for Dylan G, who allowed 3 home runs, accounting for all 4 of the Nationals' runs so far today. Satin, first pitch, right field, Jason Worth, 2 away. Clippard also the subject of one of the great all-time New York tabloid back page headlines when he came up with the New York Yankees and had a terrific outing in his major league debut. The back page headline the next day, the Yankee Clippard.
Excellent. Reminds me back in the day when the Yankees had their Columbus Clippers farm team. And they used to have a shuttle, not literally, but a figurative shuttle between New York and Columbus, and those players were called Yankee Clippers, hyphenated, going back and forth.
With 2 away, here's Eric Young Jr. Infield hit his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Clippard on in relief of Herron. Here's the 1-1.
See that changeup right there at 79. Clippard can run that 4-seamer up there in the mid-90s. He's got that long arm action. All of a sudden the ball just kind of slips out of those fingers at 79 when you're protecting against 95. That's a very big split difference in velocity.
Daniel Murphy on deck. Should Young reach. Nationals lead the Mets 4-1. 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning. Washington with 3 home runs over the first 3 innings, including back-to-back homers off the bats of Ian Desmond and Denard Span. For Span, his first of the year, then a 2-run shot. And the third, number 15 on the season, for Bryce Harper. Clifford missing high, and the count is full.
And you said the Nationals are what, 11-1 when Bryce Harper hits a home run? Well, there's the answer to their problems. Just have the kid hit more home runs.
With Davey Johnson watching from the dugout, a called strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Clifford. A 1-2-3-8. Eric Young Jr. does not agree with Lance Barksdale. Mets, bottom of the 8th inning, as we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci, and Tom, this is a collector's item. It is a Jay Harwitz bobblehead. These will be distributed at Citi Field on August 23rd. What do you think?
Jay Harwitz, obviously longtime public relations director for the Mets. It's actually the first bobblehead I've ever seen that's actually done to scale. His head is actually that big. And it's actually a little bit incomplete. I think you're supposed to add your own ketchup or mustard stain on the tie, because it does not come with one.
Excellent point. It will be social media night at Citi Field. Mets host the Tigers, and tickets include a Jay Harwitz bobblehead, and a portion of each ticket sold will go towards Hope Shines for Shannon. Shannon Ford, the senior director of media relations. She's been with the Mets for 20 years, being treated for stage 4 breast cancer. So it will be a terrific night at Citi Field on August 23rd, when a portion of the spectators will take home a Jay Harwitz bobblehead. Harper down on strikes as rain starts to come down here in Washington. One away in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That's why they had Josh Edgerton in the game to throw this slider to Bryce Harper. Tough on left-handed hitters. Bryce Harper got a good look at why. Job well done.
Scott Atchison coming in from the Mets pen. Bell is sponsored by Ace, the healthful place, and by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. All of a sudden, a downpour here at Nationals Park, so the tarp has been rolled out onto the field with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Washington Nationals leading the New York Mets by the score of 4-1. Fans attempting to keep dry. 3 home runs for the Nationals today. Desmond, Span, and Harper. Josh Edgin just struck out Bryce Harper. Scott Atchison was coming in from the Mets pen when the skies opened up. So with the Nationals leading 4-1, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, we will send it to the MLB Network studios. Take it away, Matt Vasgersian. Washington following a rain delay of just over 1 hour. Nationals lead the Mets 4-1, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Kenny Albert along with Tom Verducci. We were sailing along. We take you back to the 2nd inning. Back-to-back home runs. First, Ian Desmond, his 16th of the season, and then Bernard Span with his first of the year off Dylan G. Nationals took a 2-0 lead, and then in the 3rd, it was Bryce Harper, 2-run shot. Nationals hit 3 home runs in the span of 5 batters. And then the Mets scored their run in the 6th on a David Wright RBI single. So Anthony Rendon facing the new Mets pitcher Scott Atchison. And Rendon sends the 2nd pitch from Atchison to right center. The catch is made by the center fielder Lagares for out number 2.
And apropos to that rain shower that just blew through here, those home runs came in a deluge against Dylan G. He's a guy who did not allow a home run in his previous 5 starts, covering more than 30 innings coming into this game. In the span of 5 batters, the Nationals went deep 3 times.
2 outs. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, the hero last night with a walk-off home run. He's 0 for 3 today. And on the first pitch, a diving catch is made by Marlon Burr, the Mets right fielder. So the Nationals are retired in order in the 8th. Murphy, Wright, Burr, 2 up for the Mets in the 9th. Presented by Taco Bell. Top of the 9th, Rafael Soriano time. 25 saves for Soriano this season, with the Nationals leading 4-1. And for those of you watching the New York market who joined us late following the 1 hour, 2-minute rain delay, Scott Atchison needed only 3 pitches in the bottom of the 8th to retire Rendon and Zimmerman, who both flied out. Zimmerman robbed of a base hit by a diving Mets right fielder Marlon Byrd. So now Murphy, Wright, and Byrd 2 up for the Mets, who trail by 3 after these teams split a day-night doubleheader yesterday. And Murphy, who homered twice in the early game yesterday, takes a called strike. He is 0 for 3 so far today.
That's bread and butter right there for Soriano. The fastball right on the block on the outside corner. Fastball, slider, mostly fastballs.
Fastball in for a called strike 2.
Soriano working for the 3rd consecutive day. 25 pitches Thursday, 24 yesterday. Had a long time to prepare for this outing because of the rain delay.
He was ineffective and was actually pulled from the game by Randy Knorr. Davey Johnson had been ejected earlier in the game on Thursday, and Soriano got the hook.
It was impressive. How about Randy Knorr, the bench coach, stepping in as the manager, removing the closer in the 9th inning.
Nationals would win that game on a Bryce Harper walk-off home run as Murphy sends this one foul down the left field line. The Pirates actually scored 4 runs in the 9th to tie that game on Thursday. Soriano pulled, and then Harper, there he is, he won it in the bottom of the 9th.
You know, a lot of times we just assume that the manager is pulling the strings and pushing the buttons from back in his office, and Davey said, no, that's not the case. When I'm out, I'm out. It was Randy Knorr's game.
Randy's call. 1-2 on Murphy, leading off for the Mets here in the top of the 9th inning, trailing the Nationals 4-1. Washington with 3 home runs off Dylan G, Desmond, Span back-to-back, and then Harper accounting for all 4 Washington runs. Soriano 42 saves for the Yankees last season. Drew Storen 43 saves for the Nationals in 2011. As we discussed earlier, he was sent down to AAA after the game last night.
Soriano signed that free agent contract, 2 years, $28 million. He's doing it so far this year with more balls put in play. His strikeout rate is a career low as a relief pitcher, under 7 per 9 innings.
Now the 1-2, and Murphy with a base hit into right field. So the Mets have the leadoff man on here in the top of the 9th inning. Timeout for the King Plays of the Game, brought to you by Burger King, where taste is king. Dan Herron, terrific over his 7 innings.
Yeah, you see this package of highlights here. Look at the movement on all of these pitches. The fastball, the split, and the cutter had great late movement, kept the ball in the ballpark. Very good outing for Danny Herron. 7 innings, first time in a couple of months.
The Nationals have lost Herron's last 11 starts. He is 0-8 during that span as Wright takes a called strike. Marlon Byrd waiting on deck. David Wright has reached base 3 times today, once on an error. He has 2 base hits and drove in the Mets' only run in the 6th inning. 1 for 7 lifetime against Rafael Soriano.
Well, you'll see mostly fastballs from Soriano. He tried to slip one of those sliders past Murphy. It was not a real good one. Murphy got the bat head on it, pulled it for a hit. That was a good one. This looks like fastball to David Wright until right there. You saw that spin. You could see that dot on the baseball. It's hard to pick up if you're in the batter's box. Comes in looking like fastball speed and all of a sudden takes a turn away.
The 1-2, deep right field. Worth back on the track, makes the catch for out number 1.
This one he got away with. This was not nearly as sharp or well located, certainly. Watch, Ramos wants it down. That's a hanger. In the zone, up in the zone. Right, just missed that one.
So with 1 away, here's Marlon Byrd, 0 for 3 today. Byrd takes a called strike from Soriano, 0-1.
And that's the way you argue as a major league player. Keep your head down and talk. Don't turn around. Although he might be doing that now. He really thought that ball was down. Let's see if it catches the knee. It's close. Bird is a guy who likes to swing the bat. He doesn't let many go by.
Ball's behind, 0-2.
Let's see if Soriano wants to go out of the zone, either with the fastball up or the slider off the plate.
Right field, Worth. 2 out. Great job by our entire crew today here in Washington. Our producer, Kara Langley McDermott, director Bill Webb, technical director Paul Harbath, the associate director Brian Biederman, broadcast associate Tyler Dare. The executive producer of the pregame show is Mike Connor, producer Marty Montalto, and the director Lucas Altman. Marty Aronoff crunching the numbers along with Dave Corris. And for the record, the Beatles performed at Shea Stadium in 1965, not 1964.
64, the first year of Shea Stadium.
So now the Mets down to their final out. Murphy takes his lead off first. Ike Davis is 0 for 3. Murphy takes second uncontested. Davis 1 for 2 lifetime against Soriano. Fastball in for strike 1.
Well, these games become bigger and bigger with each day that comes off the calendar for the Washington Nationals. Had a great walk-off win on Thursday and came back with a terrible loss in their next game. Here they're trying to back it up. The walk-off win last night to string something together, looking for their first 2-game winning streak in 3 weeks.
Baby Johnson will send Taylor Jordan, the young right-hander, to the mound tomorrow against Mets right-hander Carlos Torres. The 2-1 from Soriano is fouled back, and the Mets are now down to their final strike. Washington, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Soriano looking for save number 26.
Obviously, time to throw a strike right here to Ike Davis. Don't want to bring the tying run to the plate.
John Buck waiting on deck. 21st pitch of the inning by Soriano, and Davis fouls it back. That is the 49th pitch the Mets have fouled off today.
They've gone through a lot of baseballs today. And Ike Davis has had good at-bats. Nothing to show for it so far, but good at-bats.
Payoff pitch from Soriano, a cold strike 3, and the ball game is over. Save number 26 for Soriano. Perrin wins for the first time since May 9th. One last look at the last pitch of the game. For Tom Verducci, Kenny Albert saying so long from Washington. Now to Matt Vescursion and Cliff Floyd at the MLB Network studio.